What happens when the person you've been begging to love you suddenly realizes you don't care anymore? That's what happened to my wife. For years, I begged for her time, her affection, her respect. But the moment I stopped begging, when I ignored her demands, she finally saw the truth. And by then, it was too late. My name is Aaron. I'm 38, and I've been married to my wife, Melissa, for almost 10 years. When we first met, she was warm, charming, and full of life. I fell hard for her energy. But as the years went by, something changed. Melissa started to see my love as weakness, my efforts as obligations, and my kindness as something to be taken for granted. I used to beg for her time. I'd ask her to come on dates, to put away her phone when we were together, to just be present in our marriage. Instead, she'd roll her eyes, call me needy, or say she was too busy. Slowly, I found myself doing all the chasing. I planned anniversaries, cooked dinners, booked vacations, only to watch her shrug and act like I was annoying her. The final straw came a few months ago. Melissa had started hanging out with a group of single coworkers who lived for bars, clubs, and late-night hangouts. She'd come home at 2 a.m., reeking of alcohol and perfume that wasn't hers. I asked questions, begged, really, for her to consider how this was affecting our marriage. Her response? A cold laugh, and these exact words: "Aaron, if you don't like it, leave. I'm not changing for you." That sentence cut me deeper than anything she had ever said. And that night, something inside me switched off. I decided, no more begging. Instead of fighting, I started pulling away. I stopped asking where she was going. I stopped texting her to check in. I stopped planning anything for us. When she barked demands, do the laundry, pick up my dry cleaning, buy me this or that, I nodded, but then simply didn't do them. At first, she didn't notice. She thought I was sulking, but after a few weeks, she started to see the shift. I wasn't at her beck and call anymore. I started hitting the gym, focusing on my work, and spending time with friends I had neglected for years. While Melissa was out partying, I was leveling up. The first real crack showed one Friday. She came home late, expecting me to be awake, waiting. Instead, I was out with friends, having dinner. When she called, I didn't answer. When I got home, she was furious. "Where were you? Why didn't you pick up?" I shrugged and said calmly, "You told me you don't answer to me." So I figured the same applies both ways. For the first time in years, she had no comeback. From then on, things spiraled. She started trying harder to get my attention, wearing the outfits I used to beg her to wear, cooking meals, even suggesting a date night. But I wasn't begging anymore, and I didn't fall for the crumbs. Then came the breaking point. One evening, she confronted me in the kitchen. "Aaron, you've changed. You don't even care about this marriage anymore." I looked her in the eyes and replied, "You're right. I don't, because I begged you for years to care, and you never did. Now, I've realized I don't need to beg for someone's love. Either they give it freely, or it's not real." Her face went pale. She tried to backpedal, saying she didn't mean it, that she was just stressed all those times she dismissed me. She begged me, actually begged me, not to give up on her. But it was too late. I had already filed for divorce weeks earlier. That night, I handed her the papers. Melissa's arrogance crumbled. The same woman who once mocked me for being needy was now on her knees, crying, promising to change. But I had found my strength in walking away. Today, I live in my own apartment, surrounded by peace and friends who respect me. Melissa tried reaching out a few times, but I ignored her demands just like I should have years ago. She lost me not because I stopped loving her, but because I stopped begging her to love me back. And in the end, that silence, my refusal to beg, was the loudest message I ever sent. If you like the story, please subscribe and turn on notifications.